Hi, how are you? I'm continuing with the new method for soprano descant recorder. I forgot to continue with this method, but really I thought that if you arrived until 474, you are able to go straight away without me. But I understand that it could be interesting for you to listen the music and the speech, so I will continue. Of course, became more and more difficult for me too, not to play these pieces, but to play these pieces without a mistake and not make editing. Now we are at 475, a wonderful piece from this Italian composer, written in 1904, Fascination. The problem is that they have a note with a different length, 3, 3.5, 2, 4. So this is a little the difficulty, what we have to do during this silence, because with an accompaniment like valzer, zoom pa pa, zoom pa pa, is more easy. But I will try. I will play a tenor, because if I play soprano there is too much difference between the audio level for music and text. So I hope with tenor the audio level, music and speech, will be the same. I will say 1, 2, 3, 1, da 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 dee da. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1. I take more frequently breath and in relationship with what is written, but with a soprano you need less air. A tenor eat a lot of air. And bar 30 I make a trill in a modern way, starting with E, because the Baroque trill start with F, but this is not Baroque music, so this trill start with E. It's a little complicated. I make E, F, and then I put only the medium, so it is a trill between a real E and a fake F. If I play slow, you will listen that the third F is fake. Did you listen? But it's not good if I play slow, but if I play with speed, it's not so evident. It seems between E and F. Because with this tenor I cannot use the little finger. But if I play with a soprano, I can play a real F, and instead of real E, I use F with little finger. So I move only the little finger. I start with, like the low F, but with half thumb, And these, all the notes are correct. I'm moving only the little finger, but this is written in chapter after. And now a piece written by me, a vivace, like, yes, 6/8, 1, 2, 3, 1, pum pum. I don't see 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, because if I say 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, I have a problem in starting. So I will say 1, 2, 3, 1, pum param pum pam. I have to try to go not too fast, because a pupil, a follower told me, I am not able to go on your fast, on your speed, and this was frustrating. Okay, I will play the music a little slower. 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay, now chapter 13, D sharp and I D sharp, C sharp and top D. D sharp and C sharp, lower note, need a recorder with double holes, because you have to close the 6th or the 7th hole by half. Most of the ancient recorders that we see in museum are without these double holes, but the modern instruments normally have them. It's something that arrived from oboe. Oboe normally had these double holes, also in a different position. For the ring finger of the left hand, you make G sharp with double holes. If your recorder doesn't have them, it could be that it's not of good quality, or that it is suitable for folk music, but unfit for playing Bach or Telemann. Of course, a very good recorder player can play everything without these double holes, as they did in the Baroque period, but I can assure you that it's not at all easy. D sharp and C sharp are very delicate, fragile notes, so you could break the sound if you blow too hard, or if your tonguing is not gentle enough. I D sharp is a note that creates some problem with the finger, because it doesn't require the index finger or the thumb. It is also an unusual note, so the pieces that contain it are always a bit awkward to play. Top D is not difficult, because you can blow as hard as you want, and it normally sounds fine anyway. We will start with D sharp, 477. 1, 2, 3, 4. Strange music. 478. 1, 2, 1. is easy enough to go from E to D sharp, but it's rather difficult to go from D to E flat and from F to E flat. One that works for me is to slide the ring finger to the right, going from D to A flat and from F to E flat, or left, going from E flat to D and from E flat to F, instead of lifting it. To do this, you have to turn your hand a little, using the index finger as a pivot. I use the same technique with the D flat when going from D flat to C. It is useful to try this movement at the exercise below, also playing legato. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that I can use soprano. The difference, the level audio is so delicate, this note. 479 with soprano. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not easy at all. 418. 1, 2. And now she's sharp, so with the little finger that's close half. It's a very delicate note, but it's interesting. If you study this C sharp, you will learn a lot about your breath, your tonguing. 1, 2, 3, 4. The exercise below is very difficult, especially if you try to play it legato. Don't worry if you are not able to play it correctly. It could take you hours, days, weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not easy, not easy. Why there is two different names? The same note could be C sharp or D flat. Why I am using C sharp or D flat? Normally it's depend from the direction. If we are going up, we use sharp. If I'm going down, we use flat. So the second note is between in the middle of a movement going up, but the fourth note is in the middle of a movement of note going down for this reason. But there is not in this case just a question of taste, of habitude. You will find it difficult to move the little ring finger from close to half close and vice versa. Also in the exercise below, because D flat has the ring finger, the little finger half close, but F has the little finger totally close. And also E flat has the ring finger half close, but F has the ring finger totally close. So you have to move the ring finger. Yeah, you have to move this finger from half to half close to close, close to half close, and vice versa. 1, 2. Not easy. And then you need to know how has to be this note for making, because if you're making a different note, probably you cannot you have to recognize if you are going to playing the correct note. There are three different ways. There are three different ways of playing the IE. Half 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I take again the tenor. Half, thumb, index, medium, ring finger, index and medium, or without the thumb, or without the index too. It's the same. I'm changing the fingering, but the note is the same. In actual fact, there are 5 positions, but we will learn the last 2 in chapter 15. The choice depends on what comes before and after the E. When doing the exercise below, I suggest you use the third fingering, but you are not obligated. The important thing is that you know that you can use this different finger, not that you have to use. There is someone for all his life use the first one. Other use only the second. I use different one, the first, the second, or the third. It's dependent on what is before and what is after. Every recorder player has his or her preference and habits. 1, 2, 484. 1, 2. In this case, I used the second position, so without thumb, but with the index. 485. 1, 2. This is chromatic scale. Now we are ready to play the complete chromatic scale and learn by heart. It is essential. Oh, I have some problem because my tenor has not the double K or the double holes for the C, but I can do it like a D and closing the last hole with the legs. I will try, I'm not sure. 1, 2. Sorry, 1, 2. What happened? This is to learn by heart. It is essential. I will play legato with the soprano, even some noise, but I will try. Legato is very useful. We are also ready to play the 12 major scale and the related chords and to learn them by heart. I have written them following the order of sharp from 0 to 7 and of the flats from 0 to 7. So you will find 16 scale altogether, but 3 have the same sounds written with different note, and of course the scale of C has no sharps or flats. For 8 scale and arpeggio with sharp from 0 to 7. Before there is the scale and after there is the arpeggio. 1, 2, 3, 4. C major. Exactly the same, but in G major with F sharp. The first sharp is F. 1, 2. And now D major with 2 sharps, the F and the C. 1, 2. And now A major with 3 sharps, F, C, and the new one is G. 1, 2. And now E major with 4 sharps, F, C, G, and D. And B sharp, not easy, with B major, with 4 sharps, F, C, D, F, C, G, D, A. And now this is F sharp. F sharp major with 6 sharps: F, C, G, D, A, E. This is the reason for the exist E sharp, because in this scale the 7th note is an E and the 7th note must be sharp. So if I write normal F instead E sharp, it doesn't there is no signification in music. I don't understand what is this note, but if I write E sharp, I understand that it is the 7 notes of the scale. 1, 2. And now the last one, probably I can try to play it with tenor, I'm not sure. C sharp major with all the notes are sharps: F, C, G, D, A, E, and B. B sharp. There is a C, a natural C, but I cannot write C because it's the 7th note of the scale. The note number 8 is C sharp, and the note number 7 cannot be C natural, has to be a B sharp. Yes, I don't know why there is E sharp in the last bar. We don't need this. And now the scale again, starting from C, but with flats, from 0 flats to 7. I start with the higher scale, higher C. There is not so good the C, higher C, top C in this tenor. F major with 1 flat, the B flat. And now, sorry, there is without aku. Okay. And now B flat major with 2 flat, the B and the E. And now E flat major with 3 flat, B, E, and A. And now A flat major with 4, B, E, A, and D. And now D flat major with 5, B, E, A, D, and G. I'm sorry. The G flat is an F sharp. Unusual. Normally we find ever F sharp, never G flat. And now G flat major with 6 flat, all the note without the F, so is B, E, A, D, G, and C. C flat. Why C flat? I cannot write a B natural because B is flat. So I have to play after a B, I have to play a C. And what has to be this C flat? 1, 2. Not easy at all. And this scale is the same, exactly the same of F sharp major, but written in a different way. And the scale before D flat major was the same of C sharp major, exactly the same. And okay, and now we have a C flat major that is the same of B major, with all the notes are flat. So there is an unusual F flat, that is an E, and unusual C flat, that is a B. Not easy at all, but I suggest you to study this scale. What is interesting, when you study something very, very difficult, you will make better something medium difficulty or something easy. But if you never study these things that is very, very difficult, you will never play very good the medium piece of medium difficulty. If you study something with a C flat, it's so difficult to play a C flat that when you make a piece, if you make a music with 7 flats, it's very, very difficult. Not impossible, but quite impossible. Okay, but if you study this music with 7 flat, for you it will be more easy to play a music with 4 flats. But if you don't study a music with 7, it will be too difficult for you to play good a music with 4 flats. Okay, I'm stop here. Bye bye.